to the channel. So I have been spending a lot of time over there on TikTok. I did that with the purpose of trying to get more people to come over here and join our family so that we can grow our family and be able to make a little bit of money from AdSense so that we can afford these products. And people recognize me now on TikTok. At first, people are like, what's going on, girl? And I had 0 subscribers, but now I'm sitting at like almost 3,000, and I'm happy. I don't even think the people on TikTok know my name though. So if you are from TikTok and you're here for the very first time, thank you so much and welcome over to our family. My name is Thabi. I never formally introduced myself on TikTok. I just got on there and started making content, and I don't even think people notice your name on TikTok because everything just happens so quickly, and we're so desensitized. We are just constantly scrolling on TikTok, and we only stop when we see something that interests us. But the minor details we don't really pay attention to. We recognize the faces, but not necessarily their names. So my name is Thabi, and over here we focus mainly on skincare, and we used to do hair care, and that is something that a lot of you have requested that we bring back to the channel, and that is still something that I'm still trying to figure out how to incorporate and have it, run smoothly together with the skincare content. So we're going to figure that out eventually, but for now we're just gonna focus on skincare. And in today's video, I wanted us to have a look at this Eucerin Even Pigment Perfector sunscreen. This is a sunscreen that a lot of you have asked about. I have asked for my opinion on Instagram, and today I hope by the end of this video I would have answered all the questions that you have about this sunscreen. Did I say the name of the sunscreen? The name is Eucerin Even Pigment Perfector. It's an SPF 50, and it is a broad spectrum sunscreen, meaning that it's going to protect you from both UVA and UVB sun rays. UVB sun rays are the sun rays that you're able to feel, are those that have a direct burn on your skin, whereas the UVA rays are those that you're not able to see, but that thin your collagen, making your skin looking, a lot more aged than it should be, before it should be looking aged actually. This sunscreen is going to set you back 260 rands at both Clicks and Discount, and the brand is currently on a 342 special at both stores. And we always say on the channel that Eucerin is just one of those brands that you're able to plan your purchases around the time that they have their specials, because you don't have to wait long until the special rolls around again. Eucerin is almost always on special. I think it was on a 30% special a couple of weeks ago at one of the stores, whilst it was on a 342 at one store. So there's always something going on at either one of the stores when it comes to Eucerin. So if you are on a budget and you do want good skincare, it is possible to plan around purchasing Eucerin around the time where they have specials, and they do have amazing product. They have a wide range, they have a variety of products. If one does not work for you, there's always going to be another option when it comes to Eucerin. But anyways, let's talk this sunscreen. I'm going to stick the filters of the sunscreen over here. We do not really discuss filters much because it gets technical, and I'm not a specialist. I'm just here to let you know how I have experienced this product, and please bear in mind that there's no malice in my intentions. If you buy the sunscreen and it happened to not work for you, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to find another one. But I'm going to review the sunscreen as best as I can with the way that I have experienced it. So with the application of the sunscreen, this is what it looks like. Let me show you quickly. Now this is, let me see if you can see that. This is what the sunscreen looks like. It's a typical, light cream. It's a typical Aqueous formula, and it is fragrance, and it also does have denatured alcohol in the formula. But I don't mind denatured alcohol formula. I don't mind formulas with denatured alcohol. That usually helps with the absorption of the product. I'm currently wearing the sunscreen now. I had one layer after I came out of the bath. Now this is the one layer. This is another layer I'm applying so that you see what the sunscreen looks like. Now this sunscreen will not leave a white cast on your face, but it has a potential to peel depending on what it is that you have applied under the sunscreen. Now this is it's typically the case with most Eucerin sunscreens, but the one good thing about Eucerin sunscreens is that you can definitely wear the sunscreens on their own, they are moisturizing enough without leaving your skin feeling heavy or uncomfortable, but also giving you that level of moisture that you require throughout the day. So when you purchase the sunscreen, I would definitely advise that you do not apply anything under the sunscreen. I have tried it under my vitamin C. It peeled, but then the vitamin C on its own peels because of the hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is problematic on my skin, so I have tried it under vitamin C with just the vitamin C application and the sunscreen. Didn't work out. I've tried it with a light moisturizer and then the sunscreen. Didn't work out. Tried it with a heavier moisturizer, sunscreen. Didn't work out. I tried it with a serum texture moisturizer with the sunscreen. It still didn't work out. It was still peeling, and that is not something that you want because it starts making you feel uncomfortable, and that's one of the things that will make you not want to wear your sunscreen. So I will definitely advise that if you wear this sunscreen, this Eucerin sunscreen, and you notice that it's peeling on your skin with more reapplications, usually these are the problem areas with this sunscreen. With more reapplications, it starts to peel around here and around this area. So if you notice that, just wear the sunscreen on its own. That is what I've done today, and this is what it's looking like. This is the finish of the sunscreen. It is not a matte finish. It is also not a very glossy finish that I would say would feel uncomfortable for oilier skin types. I think all skin types can really, enjoy using the sunscreen. The one thing that I'm going to say that I know you are interested in knowing about this sunscreen is if it stings the eye, and yes, it does sting the eye. It is very uncomfortable around the eyes. It's not even that, it's not even that sting that you notice immediately. It's that sting that's like, oh my God, what? That confusing sting, like, oh my God, what's going on? Is there something in the air? What's going on? Why are my eyes feeling like that? It is that sort of sting. And I love it when I figure out what is the problematic ingredient in any formula. And I think I figured out what the problem is with this formula. And that is the resorcinol, that is the tyrose inhibitor that is included in this formula. And I think it's that one ingredient because I have this other Eucerin Even Brighter night cream that also has resorcinol. This is just brutal around the eye area. And I imagine in the evening you want to have a little bit of moisturization around your eye, but this one you can't use around your eyes because you're not gonna sleep well, trust me. And then I also have this sunscreen from La Roche-Posay, the Pigment Clar. This also has resorcinol. It's also as brutal around the eyes. So that is what has led me to come to the conclusion that the problematic ingredient in this formula that is making this sunscreen irritate the eye is the resorcinol. So that is something to keep in mind. If you've been wanting to use this sunscreen, you may need to use a different sunscreen around your eyes. I say you may need to use a different sunscreen around your eyes because it's not everybody that wears the sunscreens that I wear that is going to get irritation around the eyes when it comes to those formulas. So that's all I'm saying. If you buy the sunscreen, just bear in mind that you may have the same issue that I did have. Now, the one question that many of you have asked is the sunscreen going to help with correcting the dark spots on my skin? This sunscreen has resorcinol as one of the ingredients, and that is a tyrose inhibiting ingredient. I think I can confidently say that yes, this will over time help correct those dark spots. But one thing I also want to say is that when you first start using the sunscreen, you may experience a bit of irritation with the sunscreen because of the resorcinol, and that leads me to believe that the pH of this formula is such that the resorcinol is active and is able to penetrate your skin and work on exfoliating and removing those dark spots and just calm down your active melanin cells. So to answer that question, yes, I believe over time this is going to help you with those issues. But the one thing that I would have to come back to again is for you to have a comfortable experience with this sunscreen, and for it to do what it is that you want it to do, you will have to get a different sunscreen for your eyes. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for failure. You're not going to want to wear the sunscreen, and you're not going to achieve the results that you set out to achieve when you bought the sunscreen to begin with. Now, the brand also has a sunscreen under the Even Pigment Perfector range. I'm going to find a picture. I'm going to insert it here. That sunscreen, it's a day cream, but it has an SPF of 30. Now, that day cream also has resorcinol. but it costs just under 450 rand, which is a huge difference when you compare the price of this, which is 260. So 260 and 400 is a huge difference, and you can do a lot with the difference between those two. So a lot of questions that many of you have asked is, which one is better of the two? And when I look at the ingredients, the placement of the key ingredient that you're looking for when you will be buying both these sunscreens is not so far off. If I'm not mistaken, the placement of resorcinol in this formula is around let me just check that quickly. Now, the resorcinol in the day cream of the Even Pigment Perfector range sits at ingredient number 11, where the resorcinol in this formula sits at number 14. Now, these are not the same formulas, but they come close. Eucerin is not going to give you two of the same formula and package it differently, because they're not stupid like that. However, if you are on a budget, you can definitely get away with buying this and still get the same benefits as the people who have bought the expensive offering. I mean, to me, 11 and 14 do not seem far off. And there is nothing that 11 is going to do that 14 is not going to be able to do. I hope I'm making sense. So if you are on a budget and you've seen both these products and you've been wondering what is the difference between those two, I don't imagine there will be a huge difference between those two. And I think that you're still getting the benefits that you will be getting from that expensive sunscreen, and you will be wearing it for the same amount of time. So which one should you get? I would definitely buy this one instead of the Even Pigment Perfector SPF 30. Now, it would be interesting to know, though, it would be interesting to see if the juggling around of the switching up of the placement of the ingredients in the Even Pigment Perfector Day Cream actually translates to a better application compared to this one. It would be interesting to know if maybe that is less peely, maybe if that's more matte, but I know that it's definitely going to be as irritating as this one. So I don't imagine there will be a lot of differences between the two, but I'm curious. So maybe we will test it out on the channel and see what are the exact differences between these two products, and then that will better help us understand them and help us make better decisions when making sunscreen purchases. I think that is it when it comes to this sunscreen, and I hope that I've answered all the questions that you may have had regarding this sunscreen and any of the brands offerings that are similar to this sunscreen in terms of formulation. If you have any more questions, though, hit me up in the comment section. I don't mind answering your questions. So just to recap, this sunscreen has denatured alcohol and it has fragrance. This sunscreen will not give you a white cast, but it does have a tendency to peel and it will irritate your eyes. So I do advise that you find a better sunscreen if you're looking to get the dark spot correction benefit that this sunscreen promises. For you to have a comfortable experience with it, I would advise that you get a separate sunscreen to use around your eye area. So that is it, everybody. Eucerin Even Pigment Perfector. Have a wonderful day. I missed y'all.